So hello everyone. Today we have Ms. Nidhi Goyal with us, who has secured All India rank 91 this time. And presently she is an IRS officer, IT, Nidhi?
Income tax. Yes, ma'am.
IRS IT, and this is her fifth attempt. And very interestingly, she has improvised in her like third and fourth attempt also. If you go through her chronology of UPSC journey, so first attempt she could not qualify prelims, second attempt she went up till your interviews, third attempt she got AIR 298, fourth attempt she got AIR 202, and this is her fifth attempt and AIR 91. So congratulations, Nidhi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tell us something about yourself. How this dream of civil services, you're from which place, how this dream came up, and all those things.
I wouldn't say that it was my childhood dream, but as the story progresses, so I went to college, and when we look for the career options, so civil services came as a option or a career choice, uh, where my interests align with the kind of work that a civil servant do, especially in terms of IAS, Indian Administrative Service. So the kind of diversity of job, the social aspect of the civil services that a person gets to do. So those things attracted me. And also another important factor was my father wanted me to do civil services. So that factor also drove my choice regarding the civil services.
It was your dream as well as your father's dream.
Yes.
Yeah, first it was father's dream, and later on it turns into daughter's dream as well after coming.
I would say it was reaffirmed both ways.
Okay. So you are from Alwar, Rajasthan, and
Yes.
then you have done your schooling, from for your college from Daulat Ram College, Delhi University. The Delhi University has a very good ecosystem of this UPSC preparation. I think that might have also added to your motivation to prepare for this
Yes,
exam.
ma'am, to certain extent. But since I was coming from a commerce background, so in our college, like in my course, it was mostly about C or CS. So I was among those few who wanted to do civil services. But now the trend has changed. Many people are more, even from commerce background, coming to civil services. So that time there was not much euphoria about civil services.
So, like you have, as you have mentioned, like you have done your BCom from Daulat Ram, and Commerce and Accountancy was your optional also. It was your optional in all the attempts.
Yes, ma'am.
एंड कॉमर्स एंड अकाउंटेंसी आज की डेट में अगर आप देख रहे हो तो बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट्स नाउ दे आर टेकिंग अप दिस ऑप्शनल सो टेल अस समथिंग अबाउट दिस ऑप्शनल बिकॉज सी जनरली पीपल नो अबाउट हिस्ट्री PSIR sociology and but these kind of optionals like commerce and accountancy we do not have many toppers but now of late the toppers are coming so throw some light on this optional pros and cons of commerce and accountancy.
So commerce and accountancy is good for those who have certain background in commerce and accountancy because it's a technical subject after all. But those who have it, like they have studied in graduation, it's a very good subject as an optional because the most of the sub syllabus of the optional, especially in paper one, is about what we have studied in our graduation. So much not not much preparation or I would say extra effort is required to prepare. And second paper also certain background you'll get in your graduation. So to that extent, instead of if somebody don't want to take up some different subject or a new subject and want to add more effort in the subject that is they have already studied in their graduation, so it's a very good subject. And also we study so many theoretical subjects in our GS, so it's paper one has more practical questions, so you get a break also from all the theory. So in that way also it helps. And since it's a practical thing to you, there's a possibility of getting good marks if you are done something like you have correct question. So that way also it helps. So for commerce background people, it's a good optional, I would say.
Okay, and maybe like studying commerce as a graduation subject is one thing, and appearing for UPSC with this optional is another thing. And generally, what we see is like there are like very like so many test series available for some of the subjects, especially humanities subject.
Right.
So, do we have commerce and accountancy test series also so that students can have some kind of orientation for this UPSC answer writing and all those things?
Yes, ma'am. As far as I know, there are two coaching institutes that provide coaching and test series for the commerce and optional. So I personally joined the Rankers coaching. Mr. R.S. Agrawal, sir, he teaches commerce optional for the UPSC, and his test series is also good. So those who are opting for commerce and accountancy, they can join that coaching, or especially for paper 2, I would say, because it's more a theoretical paper. So to get that understanding to perspective and how to write your answers in the UPSC exam, so it helps in that. And for paper 1, it's more your practical subject. So basically practical subjects, it's basically the way you write in graduation, but since you want to have some extra points in your UPSC exam. So that way also the coaching, you can get a test series instead of getting a full-fledged coaching for your paper 1. You can get a test series and try to innovate your answers in your own way. Think that what extra factor you can add in your answers. Look, for example, in paper 1, um, you have a practical question, say for example any topic, so you can write some definition also, or you can add your own example in certain questions, so that way you can innovate.
Okay. Nidhi, like in the first attempt, you could not qualify your prelims, and then second, third, fourth, fifth, you have qualified your prelims every time, and even mains every time from your second attempts onward. So, what is the mantra behind this prelims and mains qualifying? Because prelims is now very risky. People say it's very dicey, and then you have CSAT. Of course, you are from the commerce and accountancy background, so mathematics might not have been a problem to you, but still, CSAT as well as your prelims questions, they are becoming very risky nowadays. So, but you have qualified it in all your 4 attempts.
Ma'am, CSAT is becoming difficult by attempt. So I have studied maths till 12th, so basic maths I was aware. But now whatever the math is also coming is very difficult,
Yeah.
even for IITians. So I would say practice more. Like don't ignore CSAT as we used to do,
Mhm.
and keep your all the portions very handy. Like should not ignore verbal also, because this time I qualified my CSAT based on verbal only. I was not able to do much more those logical and maths wale questions. So, but practice more. CSAT, don't ignore it at any cost. Take up any coaching material or coaching test papers and do them. Look for YouTube videos, look for tricks, and whatever can be handy, do CSAT religiously. And regarding the prelim GS thing, I would say very important thing is test papers. Do as many test papers as you can do, and revision is very important of the basic subjects like your polity, your geography, your economics. So don't ignore those subjects where you can fetch maximum marks. The polity is something where there could not be like too much of innovativeness in questions. Like now, even when we have these difficult prelim papers, even then polity questions is something, if you have studied properly you can do them. So these basic subjects, like we have this core subjects like so those should be done very religiously, and revision is the key. Like do as many revisions as possible and pass your previous year questions of the prelims is the mantra that person should like inculcate themselves. And the test papers, if any coaching, just do them as a study material, I would say, because limit your sources as much as you can do. I have this thing that I didn't have more than 1 or 2 books for any subjects. In all my attempts I never read more than 2 books maximum. I used to do test papers, and whatever extra information you have, you get. So just write down on paper, add to your books. That is the best thing, because ultimately you have to qualify. You don't have to master the subject.
Yeah. That is one. And otherwise, also this is a generalist exam. You don't have to
Yes, right.
master it.
And newspaper also. Read newspapers also. Current affairs material, any coaching material, current affairs, you can use them. So And personally, I don't follow that thing of making notes out of newspapers. Many aspirants ask these questions of making notes. I never understood how to make notes from newspapers. So I used to follow current affair material, the monthly magazines of any coaching they can take, and that should be done.
Yeah, that's a individual take. Some
Yes,
people
yes.
do it, some people do
Huh.
not do it. Okay, so Nidhi, from second attempt onward, you have been writing mains, qualifying mains, yeah, and you have been improving upon your ranks also. It means directly the indication is that you are improving on your answer writing skills. So, how you have improvised from your third attempt to this attempt, your answer writing, where you were lacking, and how you improved upon it?
Regarding mains, so mains is a subject, or like we have four papers in mains, and the first three papers they are linked together, I would say.
Yeah,
So it's not that you have a very straight jacketed preparation for any one paper. Like paper one should be prepared as geography, as history. It's
yeah, yeah.
always intermingling of the subjects, intermixing of the subjects. So that I used to do. So in history, you can write about the economics, you can write about society aspects. In society questions, especially in these dynamic portions like GS1
Mhm.
में society we have, in economics question also, I used to write about science, society, history, whatever I could recall, because mains is about writing as much breadth as you can write. It's not about the depth, and you have limited time. So it helps in also getting the number of points. So, like if you have a question on agriculture, you can should have some pointers in that. कि agriculture का question है, so you can write about the inputs in the agriculture, the outputs in the agriculture, the ancillary activities, the economics aspect, the society aspect. So that way I used to make my points. Um, it helps in even the questions where I don't know the answers. Sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
some very tricky questions come, and there you don't know. So this framework helps you in writing those answers as well. And I used to keep my sources as limited as possible. So I used to follow my prelims thing only. For like we have Lakshmikant for polity, we have Spectrum for history. So I have those books only. And for addition in mains, I used to have like the coaching materials. We have these monthly things, and those yearly compilations come for the main specific things, so that they can do, because it helps in getting a concise information at one place, and revise it as much as possible and try to create frameworks. For example, if you have a society questions, so you can create a framework in what society question you can, like what framework or what a broad framework you can have in it. Like society can have different actors,
Yes.
women related, children related, elderly people, caste base. So these frameworks help.
And the way you were saying, like interconnectedness or interrelatedness, that also helps you in writing essays also
Right,
at
right.
different dimensions. Yeah. So, Nidhi, test papers, what is the ideal time to start writing mains answers?
Ma'am, I was not a daily answer writing wala person, so I cannot comment on that. But I would say, like, if somebody can have it before prelims, like when we start our full-fledged preparation 3 months before prelims, then you should avoid all these things. But before it, if somebody's comfortable in writing those daily answer writing, that they should do. But more specifically between prelims and mains, those 3 hours full-fledged test, do as much as you can. Minimum, I think, 8 per subject, 2 papers, and maximum as much as person can do. So,
Okay. And Nidhi, like second, third, fourth, fifth attempt interview. आपने 4 बार interview दिया. Yeah. So, how has been the board? And were you extrovert from the very beginning, or you were an introvert student? What kind of a person you are?
ma'am, I would say I'm an ambivert, not an introvert. It depends on the situations. Uh,
Why I'm asking you this because see, sometimes some candidates have this fear because they're introvert. They are not very good in expressing themselves or talking in front of people. But you have faced it 4 times, so 4 different experiences. So पूरे का अगर आप क्रक्स निकालो, निचोड़ निकालो, तो इन इससे आपको क्या मतलब बोर्ड के बारे में आपका क्या मतलब एक धारणा सी बनी? What is your impression about the board, UPSC board? 4 times.
Ma'am, I would say UPSC boards are very cordial. So even if you're an introvert person, they give you enough time and enough comfort place where you can express yourself.
Hmm.
But as for an introvert person who might find it difficult to express themselves, it comes from practice. You should practice as much as you can because it's a closed room.
Hmm.
There are five people and experienced people. They're asking you questions, or it's a discussion thing, and it's a UPSC interview. So should go with that thing. Ki we are going for such a um, once in a life moment thing, and do your best there. They are very cordial. Like my experience that they don't grill.
Hmm. Hmm.
People can have different experiences, but my all four experience with that they are very cordial. They give you enough space, enough time to express yourselves, and I think they are better judge of our personality. So even if you are introvert personality, but it is reflecting in your answers that you could be that one person who could join civil service, who could be suitable for civil services. So even if you are an introvert or you're not able to, you must be able to express in your own way, and since they are very experienced, so they'll be able to judge that as well. But you should practice, you should try to overcome some of the weaknesses you might have in expressing yourself, and go with the best confidence and do your best there.
एंड निधि चारों बार आपसे क्या डैफ के अराउंड क्वेश्चंस आए या कई बार ऐसा भी हुआ कि डैफ बिल्कुल इग्नोर किया किसी अटेम्प्ट में, ऐसा भी हुआ?
नो मैम, मोस्टली मेरे चारों इंटरव्यूज में मोस्टली डैप से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन थे. दिस टाइम ऑल्सो, लास्ट टाइम ऑल्सो, मोस्टली डैप रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस. There was not, I mean, some questions are always there which are not
Yeah,
related to your
of
DAP,
course.
but mostly it was related to DAP. And since my optional is also commerce, my background is also commerce, and I was on IRS this time, so that also helps. So most of the questions were around DAP.
But means if you're preparing your draft well, so you can expect certain questions and you can
Right,
prepare
right,
your answers around
right.
that.
In
Whose
majority of
board,
cases, it helps.
whose board was this time?
Ma'am, it was BB Swinson board.
Okay. And Nidhi, you have taken up many mocks also, and you have taken up mocks at Next IS also. How has been
Yes.
your experience at Next IS?
It was a very good experience. So I took my mock just, I think, 2 days before my actual interview this time because I couldn't go to Delhi because of my training here in Nagpur. So it helps in getting that interview feel, get into
Yeah.
that mode of interview, because it helps. It gets that confidence in you that you can go to the interview space,
Yeah.
and also the review and the remarks that are given by the panelists after the interview. It helps in improving upon your things and to get that confidence that you're okay, you are ready, or so you can go to your interview. That way, it helps.
निधि, ये देखने में सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, 5 बार आपने अटेम्प्ट किया, बट अगर मैं निधि से पूछूं इन पर्सन कि पर्सनली इट्स ऑलवेज अ रोलर कोस्टर राइड, है ना? कभी मतलब काफी कई बार ऐसा भी लगता होगा कि नहीं, मुझे नहीं करना है, ये मुझसे नहीं होगा, अब ये अटेम्प्ट मैं एग्जॉस्ट हो चुकी. देन what has kept you motivated? Because this is one problem that many of the candidates face because of the stress the exam is giving us. So how to cope up with that?
I'm surely it's a stressful exam. There are many moments where you feel like you don't want to do it, and you lose your social life in certain way. But I would say in those moments, it's your strong sense of reason would help you, like why you want to do or why you
Yeah.
want to join civil services, and should not be by because your parents are pressurizing you or because your friends are doing it. Until unless you have a very strong inner sense of a reason for doing civil services, it could be any reason. It helps you. You can take your breaks, you can take your moments, you can cry it out, you can talk to your friends, family, whatever you want to do. There'll be days when you don't want to study, go out, have some break also. I won't say that you should indulge yourself too much into preparation that you leave everything for it.
Yeah.
Once in a while, there should be some rewarding moments for you as well. Like pick up any movie or web series or whatever a person likes, your hobbies. So that should also be done. And that strong sense of reason helps you.
Yeah, strong sense of reason. That is what is like will keep you self-motivated.
And your parents' support, your family support is
Yeah,
the
positive. Yeah, positive people
positive
should
thing.
be around
Yes,
you.
yes, truly. Positive
And
people
another
should be
thing
around
is
you.
like you should also speak to people. Don't you
Yes.
should have a vent. Otherwise, sometimes what happens is if you do not have a vent, then you are under a lot of stress. So, Nidhi, it was nice talking to you. But before we leave, final words for the candidates or the aspirants who aspire to write this exam.
Uh, I would say that it's an exam which gives you an opportunity to become the part of the government, to drive the things that is shaping our nation. So it's a very wonderful opportunity. But at the end, this is an exam. This exam or the qualification in this exam doesn't define your intelligence, doesn't define your worth. So if you clear it, very well. If you don't, there are better things, there are much more good things waiting for you. So give it your best shot, prepare with all you have. But even if you don't clear, don't connect it with your worth or your intelligence, and don't let other people's opinion about these exam or whether you qualify it or not affect you in a certain way that you lose your self-respect, your worth. So that is my message to all the aspirants who want to pursue it or those who are pursuing it.
Yeah, Nidhi, see, this exam, if you seriously prepare for this exam, you are definitely an achiever. You might not be in the list, but you never fail in your life.
Exactly.
This exam teaches you so many things.
It makes you
So,
half a philosopher.
yeah, half
No
a
other way.
philosopher. This is a personality development
Yes,
program. This whole preparation, it tells you so much about the world, so much
about the
things about what is happening in and around you. So that is what is amazing thing about beautiful thing. The whole preparation is a very beautiful journey. Of course, destination is beautiful, but the journey itself is very, very beautiful. So on this note, let us take a full stop here. So, Nidhi, once again, congratulations and wish you
Thank you,
all the
ma'am.
best for your future endeavor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.